So here's what's going on over at Nick's. We've been here 28 years at the same location in Dallas, Texas. We're here with my friend Michael Smith, and he's got some great cards out that we're going to get into in a little bit. I wanted to address a little bit about the hobby. You're a hobbyist. You love to collect the cards. I love to collect the cards. I've been a collector for 20 years plus. Used to bring my kids in here. But what I like is these kids getting off those video games for a little bit, learning a little bit about the history of the game, their favorite players, the rookies, and all of what's going on in any sport. It doesn't have to be a particular sport. And I see like Mr. Brady, and you're wearing your Team Tom Brady shirt today. As a collector, tell us a little bit about your collection and how you came to start off with all these beautiful Bradys. By the way, I'm a little biased. I'm a U of M grad. I love Brady and love Michigan. Go Blue.
Go Blue, yeah. You bring up a great point, really, about unplugging from, the video games and things that are out there most kids get in today. It's really hobbies in general, the way they were, at least when I was a kid. I don't know if they had hobbies. Was that invented when you were a kid?
Let me see. I'm going to try to think back that far. Oh, yeah, we had bicycles then. I remember that.
Right. So, obviously, it's changed. It's developed. You've seen it over the years, and I've seen it over the years, where kids nowadays aren't getting out and doing things like they used to. Obviously, I just opened up a little jiu-jitsu school down the road, which is obviously a great hobby outside of, collecting cards and doing that sort of thing to also get into. Getting in shape and self-defense and anti-bullying and all those things are really, really important nowadays. You see a lot of the bullying and those sort of things happening on, devices through social media with young kids. And you hear really, really tragic stories. So, I just opened up Gracie Gym Richardson down the road. It's been great for me. Jiu-jitsu, a lot of people don't know what that is, but the Jiu stands for, the gentle jiu-jitsu, the art. It's really about, someone smaller being able to leverage technique and skills to be able to control or subdue their opponent. And it's also a sport, which is really cool. And most people see it live on an MMA and that sort of thing, or UFC, which is most commonly referred to aspect of MMA. So, way before I got into jiu-jitsu, I was really into cards. And that was something as a kid that, for me, gave me not only something to do, but allowed me to get a lot of skills that you don't see nowadays or people struggle with. There's mathematics involved, obviously looking up values, finding stats from players, and just really getting to connect with a sport and that sort of thing, and finding a hero, finding someone that is really inspiring outside of some personality on a on a tablet, that sort of thing.
So I also see one of your deals is these are obviously all Brady cards. You got to be focused a little bit when you're a collector, because the expanse of the universe of what's out there is just like way too much. So you kind of got to guide yourself through. At least I did when I collected, and I think one of the problems a lot of collectors have is they don't know what they want to collect, and you end up spending money maybe on stuff that isn't the greatest. But if you would have saved that money and bought something that's really nice, that kind of is kind of cool. And they, like you got your Brady, so you are clearly locked on to Brady. And a lot of guys lock on to rookies, a lot of guys lock on to old guys. But they got to have that something.
And you said something interesting at some of the card shows that I do attend, or some of the other places that I do attend, or being even here in Nick's. I see a lot of young people, surprisingly not, some of them that at least get involved in this hobby, like the vintage. They like the guys that are, the throwback players. And that's something that I think that I would have never foreseen, that, a 7, 8, 10-year-old would like, a Mickey Mantle or a Babe Ruth, but those guys live out in history, and it's just really, really cool to see that.
And we got the history on our wall here at Nick's, all the old players, and some of these young guys do like the vintage. It surprises me too, but I think vintage is a good way to go. Not that we got plenty of wax and modern stuff too that kids love as well as adults, but when you get into it, you just really get that passion going for whatever it is, and you love it. It's nice.
So the little bit about why I got into Brady. I was a big Michigan fan. I had family when I was younger. I went out to Clarkston, Michigan. My cousin actually taught Dugan Fife's brother, Dane Fife, who was also a great basketball player. Didn't play for Michigan, but went on to play for Indiana. And so I got a little obsessed about being in Michigan as a kid in 1988, and I went down to Ohio to Sandusky and went to Cedar Point and those sort of things. I just got kind of obsessed with Michigan, and then also watching sports at 8, 9 years old. I really liked the Fab Five and that sort of thing. And so in 98 with Woodson and Brady in 99 and that sort of thing, I remember, obviously some of that national championship and Tom Brady standing out to me. And of course, I'm not originally from Dallas, I'm from Maine, and he got drafted by the New England Patriots. And that was a really important, when he won that first Super Bowl, it was a really important time in my life as I was kind of becoming a young man and discovering my own path. Tom Brady really inspired me to do things in my life that were incredible and that have really paid a lot of dividends, even today. And so, I slowly kind of, built up some of this collection. I've sold stuff that I regret now, but that's just the hobby. And the great thing about this is that you can really recreate yourself at any time and find some of those new players, which I love some of these young guys as well. Some of the quarterbacks that are coming out, and the baseball players and some of the throwback players and that sort of thing as well. And so, but this has been my primary focus, has been Tom Brady for quite some time. I actually submitted to the Guinness Book of World Records because there wasn't a record out there. My count stands at 52 Tom Brady autographed cards that are authenticated, obviously, through card manufacturers. I had to go to it was a long morning at the bank getting a security deposit out for these cards, but I'm glad that I could bring them in here and really, share them obviously with the world, but also share them with you, because I know you're a big and I've been talking about this collection for a while. I've been teasing you. So
yeah, no, it's great. That U of M card is really cool too.
Yeah,
I like that. Hey, the big house is something everybody needs to experience at one time. You go to a football game at U of M Stadium, it's like crazy. You got 100,000 plus there on any Saturday afternoon, man. It's just wild.
Amazing.
You got a favorite card in there?
I do. I'll tell you a little bit about some of the rookies and some of that sort of stuff and why I collected what I collected. I don't have an SP Authentic, and I don't have the base Contenders Auto. I had it at some point, and I've had an SP Authentic. I'm a weird stats guy, going back to hobby. I look at scarcity and population report, and I look at foreshadowing for some of this stuff as well. And so there's over 1,000 SP Authentics that are graded mint or better in both PSA and Beckett. And so to me, that isn't scarce. I know that the most collectors out there would say that's crazy, that's the card to have, that sort of thing, but there's 1,250 of those. There's a lot. I don't even know what the print run on Contenders. There's over almost 1,000 of those or so that are mint or better in both PSA and Beckett as well. And so I kind of went for some stuff that I thought was really unique, and I've had this Brady card for a long time, and this is probably my favorite autographed rookie card, and it's numbered, it's what they call the gold refractor, 48/60. This is the round number 6. It also features Mark Bulger on the back with an autograph. But the reason why I like this, I think it tells the story of Tom Brady, how he was such an underdog and how he came to become the GOAT, the greatest all time. Even the great quarterbacks and great players that he plays with now and the retired ones are saying he is the greatest.
Wait, what round did he go in?
The 6th round.
6th round,
he
baby.
was, pick 199. And so I like the die cut, which is really, really hard to have, especially back then, for really good condition. This is a graded, actually a 9. And actually the edges on this are a 9.5 and the centering's a 9.5. It's very close to being a 9.5. Maybe I'll bring that into Beckett and see if they'll take another look at it. So that has the story. That's my favorite rookie auto that exists out there for me. And I really it's scarce. It's numbered to 60. It has the story. I think it tells his career. So I'm a big fan of that card. I think it's better than the Contenders. I know that the Contenders have 100. Now that's a great card to own. You don't see a lot of those. That would be more something I collect. Most of these cards are 50 or less autograph numbers. Some of them are 101s even. So another card that I think is really, really unique that you don't see a lot of, that people really, really like when I tell them about my collection or I show them or they get to see that in person when I brought it to card shows. And this is a heartbreaker for me. I don't know if it's a heartbreaker for you because I'm a Patriots fan and I'm a Tom Brady fan at the same time.
This is Cowboy Nation, buddy. Be careful.
I know. But this one is, and the Cowboys fans will like this one, that, because Brady, the only time he's lost the 2 Super Bowls to Eli Manning, but this is Tom Brady and Eli Manning together. It's a 9/5/10. It's actually Eli's rookie year, and it says Link to the Future. How foreshadowing for that. In 2004, they hadn't even played 2 Super Bowls together at all. No one knew that Eli would be in the Super Bowl. Not only would he break that unbeatable season, that record season in the Super Bowl, but he would turn around and then beat Brady again. And so I think this is extremely rare, extremely unique card. It's actually the first one of the bunch. It's number 1 out of 25, and so I really, really love this card.
Say, what's that 236 you got over there? Just the unsigned 9.5.
Oh, this is the big dog.
That's classic, isn't it?
This is classic. You're talking about a non-autographed card that we have. All of these are autographed cards. I did bring a couple of non-autographed cards, but this is the big boy. This is the Bowman Chrome Refractor, and it's at a 9.5. Now let's talk about that. Why I like this better than, let's say, SB Authentic. And they value right around the same price, but there's 1,250 of those. There's almost 1,000 that are mint or better. There's only 25 or 26, I think, the population of the 9.5s in the Bowman Chrome Refractors. Pulling a refractor card, period, back in 2000 was next to impossible. I don't know if they even had terms that they have nowadays, like case hits or that sort of thing. I don't even know if they knew the print run. And so this is the big boy. I'm very grateful I have this card, and it's just a beauty. I mean, to look at. So. I've got a lot of pairs together. There's a couple triple autographs here. Pretty unique stuff. Brady, Montana, Bradshaw, which is obviously the only quarterbacks to win 4 Super Bowls together. And the other thing about this that's pretty unique is that they all have patches involved as well. And they printed a couple of these out, National Treasures, that sort of thing. It doesn't do the same for me. This was before he won 4 Super Bowls. So the foreshadowing to me is a much greater value than a card manufacturer turn around and printing something nowadays to capitalize on that fact. Still cool, be great to own, but
I gotta get one of my favorites out of your deals, just because I'm a U of M guy. So look at this. This is U of M alum is what this card spells out. It's unbelievable for me. You got Brady on there, Braylon Edwards, Chad Henne, David Harris, Mario Manningham, Jake Long. I love it. I just think it's a cool piece. Of course, like I said, I'm a little biased.
Just a little bit. No, it's a 1-on-1. It's a really unique card.
You also have been a customer here at Nick's for a long time. What do you like about Nick's?
What I like about Nick's, what I've always liked about Nick's, obviously, for me, has been not only is it a great location, is the vibe in the store. Always got a great vibe. You've done a great job, obviously, enhancing Nick's in a lot of different ways, bringing a lot of different aspects of this, the hobby into light for a lot of young people. Great customer service. I've always felt that I've had someone's full attention, which is hard sometimes when you go into a retail establishment sometimes. And the other thing is that every staff member that I've interacted here with takes the time. And the other thing that I enjoy is, they do know that I've been collecting for a while. They'll even ask, Jim, who's been a staple here forever, the other day even asked me, say, hey, would you help me look up this card? And I felt honored to help Jim. So I went right out of my way to help, and we actually found a card that he had difficulty looking up because it was one of those back then, kind of unique brands that not always are easy to find in a Beckett or whatnot. And so, there's just a lot of different things, and the way that you interact with kids, which is really important.
I love kids coming in here. We got our 50-cent table too, where all those cards are just 50 cents. What takes me to like that, I make sure all the time I get out behind this counter and I go out and show those kids everything, because that's the future of the hobby. If you don't have those young kids coming in,
right,
and guys are 30, 40 and older who are collecting, it doesn't have any perpetuity. It's not going on. And so I make a special effort for the kids. I really like them coming in.
No, and it's genuine and it's authentic. I've always experienced that way. And that goes back to some of our passion that we both have, which is, obviously we have other hobbies outside of sitting in front of the phone, looking stuff up and doing whatever there. We're able to unplug and interact. And so I know when a kid comes in here, I know you see it as an opportunity to really get that message across and get them excited about something that can change their life,
Hey, well, thanks for handling this. Just give me a fist bump here.
Yeah.
Go Blue. I'll say it again. I love it. Thanks for being a customer or friend. Good luck on your jiu-jitsu. I'm sure that thing will go great.
Thanks.
And come see us at Nick's. We'll see you soon.
Awesome. Thank you.